Hi, this is Brijesh Bhatia from Elevra Tech. Over the last 15 years, I have been witnessing many ERP implementation journeys across different organizations, across different industries. The major challenge what I've seen or observed is automating the manufacturing plant or manufacturing site. Challenge is not the technology. Challenge is more towards adoption. The production team or the end users are more focusing on ensuring that productions are running. When it comes to data entry in ERP, it is something which is not the comfort zone for them. They feel that as a additional burden for them. And that is where the most of the ERP implementation, even if it is successful, the data coming from the ERP from the manufacturing side is not the real time or not the correct in some cases. That is not the case with Crossbond. Crossbond is ensuring that under the leadership team of Mr. Anuj Garg and Mr. Aman Garg, they have ensured that entire manufacturing process covered under SAP Business One, automated under SAP Business One. In my previous conversation with Mr. Aman Garg, we have covered the story of Crossbond, covering their marketing initiative, covering their overall digital transformation. Today we are going to meet Mr. Aman Garg, who is also one of the director in the Metro Decorated. The brand name is Crossbond. He is more of taking care of the production side and the operation side of the business. We are going to understand that how SAP Business One is helping them, how SAP has digitalized their entire shop floor. We are at their Kashipur plant, as you can see at the background. Let's go and meet Mr. Aman Garg. So thank you, Amanji, for joining us today. And thank you for giving us an opportunity to visit your plant, to understand how SAP Business One is helping your business, how overall digitalization is helping your business. Thank you.
It is my pleasure that we are very glad that you can be here today and you had a chance to look at our facility, our processes, and we are very happy with the integration that has happened with our cooperation over the last years, and we look forward to more future optimizations that will happen in this, and we are glad that you are here with us today.
Great. So I see that it's a very, very big plant you have set up here in Kashipur. So what are the main, unique point of this plant, and what is the capacity of this plant?
So what we are manufacturing in this facility is MDF and HDF boards that you are already aware of. And what we use over here is state-of-the-art continuous pressing technology. This is the same technology which is used by all global worldwide leaders such as IKEA, Crossbond, etc. All these companies, they use worldwide technology. They use this type of technology, and we are also, we were also very keen to adopting this technology, and we got it on board, and we are running this facility on continuous pressing. The overall production capacity for this plant is 650 cubic meters per day, and we already have an expansion ongoing in this particular facility, and when that expansion starts up, we will take this almost to 1400 to 1500 cubic meters per day. So that is the near future that we are looking into.
Great. So how many, number of FG items which is going to sell in the market you're producing here? The quantum I would like to understand.
So our product, although it may seem like a base product, but we actually have thousands of FG items because there are a lot of permutation and combinations which are possible. We have some raw board finishes which are limited to maybe, let's just say, 50 to 100 FGs. But once we get into the permutation or combination of final finishes that you can choose between the thicknesses and the decors, etc., they can be in the range of thousands. So currently on our SAP B1 program, we have thousands of BOMs and thousands of FGs which are live, which customers can choose upon as per their requirement.
Right. So I checked with your team. So what they mentioned is about close to 4,700,000 FG items are currently managed in SAP Business One.
Yes, you're right.
So because of there are a lot of color combination, lot of color size, thickness, as you rightly mentioned.
Correct.
So when it comes to manufacturing, so the entire process is been captured in SAP Business One.
Yes. So initially we thought this was going to be a little bit challenging because we never thought that a manufacturing process like this can be captured by a software program. But with the help of your team and also with the software capabilities of SAP B1, we were able to capture the entire process on SAP B1, and it is completely live and it is completely online. So everything is running at the moment, and at very instance of time, you can check which product is in what type of stage at that particular minute. So everything is online, and we are very happy with the process so far.
Great. So you have, what I understand, two major facilities. One is in Kashipur and one is in Kalaham.
Yes, correct.
So, and then you have HO in Delhi.
Correct.
And then you have multiple warehouses also.
Correct.
So all these locations are running centrally, and you can access anywhere, anytime kind of information.
Correct. So that is what is happening. There is a certain set of responsibilities that the plant team is handling. There is a certain set of responsibilities that the head office team is handling, and then there is a certain set of responsibilities that the sales and marketing department is handling. And as management, we need view of all of these things at the same time. So with SAP B1, everything is live at the same time, and everyone, whatever scope they are working in, they can, as per their scope, see their work in SAP B1 live.
Great. What I also want to understand, the certain functions like procurement is centralized and handled by each individual plants, or centralized managed by the central office, Delhi office.
So it is actually broken upon. So there are 3 to 4 type of procurements which are happening. There is one critical raw material procurement which is happening, and then there are some things which are happening at a local level. So for example, wood is always managed locally because wood is coming from within 100 kilometers of the plant. So that part is handled by the plant. But things which are critical raw materials which come from the same source for both the facilities are handled by the head office. And then there are very small, low value consumable items which we require on a day-to-day basis, like stationery, etc., which are these type of small items. They are handled by local procurement. So this is how it works. It's broken up by the kind of procurement, and the scope is divided as per the type of raw material.
And the inventory is as you mentioned, there are a lot of warehouses are also there. Inventory must be in each plant also. So it is also accessible to the sales team so that they can book the orders, and while booking an order, they can see that what is an inventory level, whether the material is available or not.
Correct. So the inventory is live, and sometimes we give the access to very senior salesperson, and sometimes we do not even give the access to salesperson, just because sometimes many orders are in progress which we have not received the advance payments, etc.
Right.
But the stock is blocked. So sometimes, based upon the seniority level of the salesperson, we are able to give them the access to the stock or not. But the stock is live, and it is available to various sales coordinators, salesperson, the commercial department, etc. Everyone has a view of that stock, but it is not necessarily shared to everyone, just because if are certain orders which are in progress, or we are waiting for payments, etc., or there is a certain quantity which has been blocked by a certain user, so that is not known to some salesperson. So, but in general, the stock is live.
Or even sometime you even don't show the stock which is not there, and then sometimes sales guy doesn't pick that order because
Correct.
the stock is not available.
Correct.
So maybe that is the right strategy.
Correct.
Your orders are, your productions are make to stock scenario or make to order scenario?
It is a combination of both actually. So it is made to order for specific orders and made to stock for general orders. So typically it is made to stock for 70 to 80% of the production requirement, based upon our estimations of historical data, and then 10 to 20% based upon the market requirement, which can be customized SKUs for any projects or new developments, etc. It's a combination of both that works.
So while implementing SAP Business One, because what I understand is that implementing SAP or any ERP in the production facility is the most challenging part. What kind of challenges or resistance you have faced while implementing SAP Business One at your manufacturing locations?
So the first was the general know-how. So usually the general basic manpower or human resource which is available, not everyone has used SAP or any type of SAP in the past. Usually they are used to the more conventional softwares. So there is an initial resistance to the fact that we are going into SAP. So a lot of people are aware that the work volume might or might not increase. They are not aware of what the work volume will look like. So there is a resistance. Plus, in other softwares, it is very fragmented. Each department is using like a certain module, or maybe different departments are sometimes using different softwares. So a lot of people are scared about integration. How will the integration look like? Maybe they are afraid that if the process is not working properly, or there's some type of a break in the process, it might get highlighted. So there are initial thought processes, challenges, and then the other part was just the uptime of the system, because with a lot of the processes and lot of different software, there's a challenge of downtime, etc. That if all of a sudden we are in middle of a production schedule or a purchasing schedule, etc., and the software suddenly goes into downtime, then what will happen? So that was a challenge actually from the management side, that if suddenly the software goes down, then what we will do. So these are just some 3-4 challenges that we thought were there. There were some other bigger challenges as well, which were related to the adoption, that how many manpower we will need, and what kind of trained resources we will need, what kind of support we will get. So there were some other smaller issues also, but it was a combination of lot of issues. But for the most part, we had good support from the Elevra Tech team, and we had put some internal consultants that we hired, and overall we were able to break through. But it did not happen overnight. It took its time. But we were very committed to the process. The key is being committed to the process. Once you are committed to the process, you figure out a way, you figure out a process, you figure out the manpower. But midway through, if you decide to break through the process, then it can be a little bit chaotic and problematic.
Absolutely. So you are bang on the point. So whenever I also go and meet any new entrepreneur who's looking for ERP, so my only point or commitment we need is that your involvement is highly required for the success of this project. If you lose your interest in between, then the implementation would be a real big challenge for everyone.
Correct.
And if you are involved, you wanted to have reports, everything coming from the system, then eventually the team has to come on board. So that is the only way to have a successful implementation in any of the organization. My next question would be in terms of finance, because we have also observed that many companies still don't want to go live on the finance side, and then the finance team is comfortable on running traditional softwares like Tele. What is the case in your company, and is Tele running, or you are 100% running on SAP Business One?
So initially, before starting SAP B1, we were also using Tele in some capacity, and it was a little bit disintegrated. That was actually part of the reason why we were looking to get into SAP B1, where we can have an all integrated type of a software. Our manpower also had a challenge that they were initially not comfortable with SAP B1 for the people who had not used before. And during the transition phase, there was a phase where we were using SAP B1 and Tally parallelly, so that for that particular year, we can have the data in both the books, the SAP B1 book and also the Tally book, because as we shifted over to SAP with a new financial year. For the remaining part of our earlier financial year, we were all using both the softwares parallelly. And that was a little bit of a chaotic stage, because everything had to be done essentially twice, and we had not really increased too much manpower for that. So people were usually working double time, first to finish their work in Tally, then to finish their work in SAP B1. But when we took the step of converting into 100% SAP B1 from first of the financial year, there was some initial resistance that how it will work or how it will not work. But since my team had already worked on SAP B1 for about 4 to 6 months, they were already well versed with the software, and with support of Elevra Tech team, some bugs etc. were fixed, and we were able to transition into 100% SAP B1. And once we transitioned completely, life started getting easier for the management as well as the staff.
Correct. So that's a very good point, because that is also one of the challenge we face across customers who start their journey and they keep on finance live on or parallelly running on SAP Tele, and the sooner you shift, the better for the overall organization. So that is what is you also mentioned. My last question, I'll not go much into detail. My last question is that since SAP Business was implemented, I think you stay in Delhi. So is your visits to your plants in Kashipur and Kalaham have reduced, or it has been as usual?
So my visits to the plant have become more strategic now. So earlier when I was coming to the plant, there were certain other set of things which I was looking, which I don't have to look into right now. Those things I can follow from my head office now. But my visits to my plant have reduced now, and now I look at the things which are actually still not covered by SAP V1, such as expansions, new product development, manpower hiring, manpower development, festivals, growth. So now my visit to the plants are typically not related to processes. It is more related to how we can grow further and how we can move on to the next goals. Now I am focusing more on the next vision as opposed to just strengthening the current vision.
Great. So I asked the same question with Anuj also, the same question to you. Where you look Crossbond in next 5 years?
So in the next 5 years, we want to, we want to stand with already established players in the MDF industry in the market. We want to call ourselves in the top 2 or top 3 in the wood panel industry, and we are on track to do that at the moment. And our long-term vision is in the next 4 to 5 years, our name should be right alongside the leaders.
Great. Wish you all the luck, sir. Anywhere you feel like we can help you more with the automation or digitalization, we would be glad to associate with you furthermore. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to continue our journey on the digital transformation.
Yes, you're very welcome, and we look forward to working with you in the near and the long future, and we hope for a lot of good development in the upcoming years.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.